Hello?
And go live here. Had to restart it there. We are live. Hey everybody, welcome. Had to quickly restart the stream for us here. Entering qualifying right now. Of course, Matt in the booth with you this week. Squeak, you gonna come on board with us here tonight and hang out, buddy, and call this one with me, bud?
Yeah, I will definitely be here to call the race with you, and yeah, be a fun night.
10 for Squeak. Well, I tell you what, folks, we're gonna step away for our national anthem. We'll be right back here in a moment. We'll get this thing underway as qualifying is underway right now. Kentucky Motor Speedway. Alrighty, back up here in the booth with you once again here, getting ready to go green here in about 2 minutes. Chris Schooler, top of the board. Ashley, second. It's going to be Derek M. Garrison. Brandon Thomas, Bill Stringfellow, and Bob DeBelder setting in sixth. Little Squeak, good to have you back up in the booth with us here tonight at Kentucky. What do you think we're going to see all night here from Kentucky Motor Speedway, buddy?
I think we're going to have a lot of action here tonight. I think we're going to have a lot of side-by-side racing, and we're going to see who can keep them tires nice and clean and not burn them up within the first 10 to 15 laps.
And for buddy, well, we don't want to forget to thank our sponsor, ButtKicker. Of course, guys, if you haven't used devices, the best way for me to explain it to you, it's going to go on your chair. Basically, what it does, it takes sound output from the game and will kind of put it into a physical that you can feel vibrating through your seat. Whether it be you mess up like I do all the time on a road course and go through the grass, go up rumble strips, change your gear, pretty much anything you do, you can feel it squeak. And I've got to say, it's helped my consistency a little bit as of late.
Yeah, the ButtKicker makes everything feel. You can feel every little bump and cranny as you go through the track surface, and it definitely can help you improve during the race and your racing line and your racing style. If you know where the bumps are, that might help you improve the line you run going into a corner off exit. And yeah, they are tons of fun, and I recommend you get one if you don't have one
As well. But it looks like Buddy Chris Schooler are going to start from the pole here tonight. Drew Ashley right there behind him. Garrison in third. And now Garrison, what's he won? 6 races this year so far. And if I'm not mistaken, Eric got a win there last week while he wasn't televised due to some medical issues going on my end. Couldn't televise that one. But I tell you what, the Garrison doing a great job this year.
Yeah, the Garrison brothers have won just about every race except for the first race, I believe. at Daytona, and they've both been on a roll these past few weeks. And I guess it's gonna be. I guess we're gonna have to see if anyone can stop them this week.
And for buddy, well, we're gonna get them gridded up here, folks. We're gonna get them underway from Kentucky Motor Speedway here momentarily. Let's take a look at your starting lineup here tonight. Row number 1, Justin. Excuse me. That's the live starting grid, and that is not at all accurate. Let's try it again. There we go. We got it accurate this time. Row number 1 is going to be Chris Schooler alongside Drew Ashley. Row number 2, Derek M. Garrison, Brandon Thomas. Row number 3, that's going to be Alexander Hendra alongside Bill Stringfellow. A pretty competitive row right there. Row number 4, it's going to be Eric Garrison and Aaron. Row number 5, Dakota Camper and Joshua. Row number 6, Jamie Lee Dunning, Justin White. Row number 7, Paul alongside Taylor Butcher Benjamin. And row number 8 is going to be Joey and John Greenslate. Row number 9, Robert alongside Steve Ruddard. And row number 10 to round out the field, Mr. Troy Ritter right there in 19th Rittner. Excuse me there, folks, as we're going to get ready to go green here, Squeak. What do you say we take a look at track facts here for Kentucky Motor Speedway? 4-corner road course, 1.5 miler, 134 laps, or roughly going to come out to 200 miles here tonight. Track temp 82 degrees, air temp at 81. Well, Squeakerton, you ready to get this thing underway?
Yeah, I'm really stoked and pumped to get this thing underway. Chris Cooler, as you said, is starting on pole, and that's been a switch up from what we've usually seen of Derek getting the pole or someone, one of those Garrisons starting up front. And Garrison starting third here tonight. It's going to be something to watch here.
Yeah, it is. And you take a look at the 42-31 front row here tonight. This race, if we get going here, it'd be roughly 1 hour and 5 minutes if it went green. Now, we know the chances of that is not that high. But it's not a very long race tonight, a squeak, compared to what we run. So you take a look at it and you go, man, here at Kentucky, it's a long race, but it's not all at the same time.
Yeah, it's a long race, and obviously we don't have any stages or anything here, so the breaks you're going to get are the ones that are going to happen under caution. I do expect, like you said, we see a few cautions. I don't think this thing is going to go all the way green. That would be very amazing if it did. But like you said, a little bit shorter race, but at the same time, it's going to be a long race for these guys.
It will be, and the draft will play an effect, especially on fresh tires. Expect to see them pretty much in a pack for the first little bit before they spread out. And that's what we're going to have to look forward to here. We'll see if the Garrison brothers can continue their dominance here in the NASCAR ButtKicker Cup Series here at Kentucky this week. Pace car going to dive down pit road, and Squeak, we're going to go green.
Yes, we are. Pace car is taking the hard left turn, or has already taken the hard left turn. Chris Schooler is going to lead these guys to the restart zone into the green flag. You can see Drew Ashley laying a little bit back there. We got the green flag here. Chris Schooler is going to lead him to the start-finish line.
Schooler out front. Good start by Schooler. Garrison's at second right now as they get down in the line. Out in front, Chris Schooler pulling away with Garrison behind him. Stringfellow, Drew Ashley, Brandon Thomas, your top 5.
Yeah, Drew Ashley did not get the start he wanted. He's already back to third place, about to lose fourth place to Brandon Thomas, and maybe even fifth and sixth. But up to the front, we got a battle for the lead. Garrison going to go on the high side of Chris Schooler there and take the lead away and lead the first lap here.
Surprise, we got a Garrison to the race lead early on at Kentucky. Are you really shocked there about that one, Squeak?
Not really, and this is also Garrison's home track, so if he's able to pull this off, it's not really gonna be surprising, but some of these guys are probably gonna be a little bit disappointed in themselves and how they can let Garrison win each week.
Got Schooler dropping to second. Look at Bill Stringfellow right there in third. Good run for the 83 so far early on. Setting top 3, a little bit of a battle behind them. Going to be Brandon Thomas and Alexander Hendra going at it into one once again.
Yeah, I spoke to Alexander earlier this week, and he thought he had a pretty good shot at at the race win this week. He said he was able to keep his tires cooled down enough to where the longer the run goes on, he's able to make some time on these guys. But back up front here, we actually
Got
looks
a,
like Chris Schooler is getting some fire for second place here by Bill.
yeah, Bill
Um,
working his way under there squeaking. Did a great job. He got to run all the way down the back straightaway. Carried it through 3 and 4, out underneath onto the back stretch once again, and still on his way here to move way up the field.
Yeah, and Bill has been the person, or he's been one of the the people that we've seen actually up front each week, running somewhat close to Garrison. So I'm not surprised with this and how he's running second slash third, battling for second, I shall say. But Chris Schooler, he's had a few weeks, a little bit of contact right there between them both. It looks like Chris Schooler got the apron just a little bit. That's going to allow Bill to get up to second.
Bill up to second right now. Derek M. Garrison in the race lead in that number 8 Chevrolet. Derek out front, pulling right now. Bill Stringfellow in second. Schooler third. Thomas fourth. Ashley fifth. Alexandria in sixth. That's your top 6 right now early on here at Kentucky. Ashley right there fighting his way through. What about Dakota Camper? Jumping to the bottom of Alexandria right there.
Yeah, Alexander's holding strong on the high side. Well, Dakota's, as soon as I say that, I guess it looks like Alexander's going to give him the position. Maybe, no, he looks like he's going to do the crossover in Dakota. So Alexander looks like he's battling pretty hard for this position early on, as we just completed lap 6, excuse me, and we're on lap 7. But if we look right behind him, that's Aaron Corey, right behind him, waiting to make a move on both of them.
Corey actually getting in a wall there. He gathered it back up, trying to make a move out front there. Kim Garrison, story of the year right now out front in the field. Stringfellow, Brandon Thomas, Ashley, your top 5, and great battling around the racetrack right here early on, just 7 laps complete.
Yeah, we've seen a few great battles so far. For the time being, they're mostly single file from at least first to about, I guess, just about everyone actually. As I say that, it looks like they go single file. Don't really have too many battles going on. Might have a few going on in the back half of the field, but for right now, it looks like everyone's just taking their time, being patient, and not burning up their tires too much.
As you say there, Eric Garrison jumps to the bottom of the 4, picking up a spot here, moving 9th. At number 9, Auto Air Machine. Have an auto parts right there. And good move for him. Everybody back single file once again. Corey behind him. Taking a look up through the field here. Everybody running pretty close right now, staying within the draft. But right now, for the most part, single file. But Bill's starting to run down Eric M. Garrison here by little as they work their way down the front straightaway.
Yeah, and Brandon Thomas has also closed in on third place. Chris Schooler here on the straightaway. I'm not sure if he's going to make a move. Looks like Chris got a little bit of a wobble off the exit right there, and it looks like Brandon Thomas is actually going to stay tucked behind Chris Schooler and bump him a little bit to try and get that gap in between Chris Schooler and Bill closed. But it doesn't look like it's going to help Brandon, so it looks like Brandon's going to actually look inside here going down the front straightaway.
Yeah, they tried to work together. Didn't really. Brandon go down to the bottom. He'll get alongside the Schooler, but he can't keep the momentum up. That outside line carrying quite a bit of momentum off of 2 here. That's going to allow Schooler and the 4 Ashley to fight back on the top.
Yeah, and it also looked like Brandon Thomas got a little bit of that yellow line going into the 1, which made him check up just a little bit. But it does look like as this long run goes on, and as the run goes on in general, you're probably going to want to move up to that middle lane in 1 and 2.
Yeah, you're definitely going to up here. Top side of Drew Ashley, working his way around Thomas, dropping back to the battling right in front of him, Schooler again, under Drew Ashley right here, and these guys battling quite hard up front though. Bill Stringfellow and Mr. Derek M. Garrison, guys battle behind them.
Yeah, these guys battling for 3rd and 4th and 5th and so on has allowed the top 2 to pull away quite a bit. It looks like they just pulled away another few tenths that lap. Drew Ashley is now moved into 3rd place, and that's going to allow Chris Schooler and Brandon Thomas to now battle it out for 4th place, as well as the battle right behind them, Dakota and Alexander Henry for 6th place.
Yeah, great battling right here. Everybody's still side by side. And Thomas still fighting back. He's got help up there with Alexander. That outside line really starting to come in about 15 laps into the run here.
Yeah, I'm sure there also has to do something with the package. As you saw right there, Alexander kind of lost a little bit of time because he was tucked right underneath Brandon Thomas's back bumper, and that probably got Alexander a little bit tight, which pushed him up the track. And now he lost all that momentum that he had gained on Brandon Thomas and Chris Schooler, and he's gonna have to work through it again, and possibly might lose a position to Dakota if Dakota can get back up there.
And trying to really fight their way back through. Well, very quickly, we'll take a look up front. You can see the Garrison's away from Bill here, so they're now separated. Ashley's got a gap in 3rd. Then you got Brandon right in front of Schooler. Then a whole gaggle of cars right here. Yeah, 6th, 7th, right here racing each other right now.
Yeah, and I'm almost curious as to if Chris Schooler burned up his tires or not, because ever since about 10 laps, maybe, well, not exactly 10 laps ago, probably around 6 to 7 laps, he's been falling like a rock and has lost all that time on Garrison. And he was right behind Garrison and Bill there, but he's now falling back to the clutches of 6th and 7th place.
As you take a look right there, Dakota Camper nearly got into the left front quarter of Joshua. Actually, they may have made a little contact. They kept it straight, though. Again, I think these guys starting to root their tires, like you talked about, starting to move up the racetrack more as this run develops.
Yeah, I definitely think a few of these guys burned up a little bit of their right front, unless they're really trying to save, but I don't see them saving this much tire early on and allowing Garrison to get away like this. But for the time being, it looks like they've sorted it out once again in a single file for the most part.
Yeah, single file. You got Drew Ashley back here, and Brandon Thomas in the 3. Then you got Chris Schooler, Alexander, Joshua, Eric M. Garrison. Alexander actually way up the racetrack. Went into that time by trying to get a run. We got a little bit of a battle developing 2nd. Ashley close in on Bill, and right by Bill actually goes Ashley to 2nd.
But don't count him out yet. Bill's going to do the crossover here on the front straightaway. Not sure he's going to be able to pull it off. Drew is actually going to be in that preferred line as we've been seeing these past few laps. See if Bill can make it stick on the bottom side. Looks like he got a little bit loose or tight right there, and that's going to allow Drew to get the upper edge off exit.
Yeah, it is. I think Drew will be pretty good shape down into 3. Maybe Bill fall back. Almost trying to close in. Alexandra and Eric, your top 7 right now. Eric actually inside of Joshua. Nice little battle, 7th and 8th. 20 already in the books here. Early on at Kentucky, 20 already down here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. And what do you think the fuel run? You think 45, 50 laps here tonight?
I think it's I don't know exactly the whole run. I was unable to get any readings for fuel earlier before this race, but I'm gonna assume it's probably in between 40 to 55 laps. Again, I don't really exactly know a specific time or frame for that window, but I guess we'll know here in about 20-ish laps.
Now, and take a look outside. Loves this. You got Brandon, Chris Schooler right there. Yes, then you got Alexander, Eric Garrison.
Oh, Chris Schooler. Oh, a little bit of contact. Gonna go 3 wide here on the front straightaway, actually. Chris Schooler is gonna be the sandwiched one here in between Eric Garrison and Alexander Henry. And now make it 2 wide. Chris Schooler is getting shuffled back. Oh, a little bit of contact between him and Josh. That's gonna cause Chris Schooler and Josh to lose any time they had right there on that top 5.
Yeah, they just kind of ran out of room. I had nothing. And
they're still 3 wide, actually. It looks like Alexander, Eric Garrison, and Bill right ahead of them were 3 wide for a split second. Now they're side by side, and Alexander's going to get the better of that battle. But they're still side by side behind him for 5th place, Eric Garrison and Bill. Now it's sorted out, but as we go back right there, do not want to miss what happened. And did not mean to talk over you there, Matt. But that was
Yeah,
Chris Schooler and Josh ran out of room, I believe.
Yeah, they just kind of ran out of room, got together, and made some contact here as we continue to run lap number 24 of 134 complete here tonight. Folks, I'll tell you what, while we got a bit of a break, we're going to go crank it up for the first time tonight. Back with you here in about 2 laps. First, crank it up here at this. All right, back here with you folks for extended Crank It Up here, and what we've seen here during this Crank It Up segment, you take a look, we've been watching Bill here. He's dropped, what, 8th now? There, Mr. Squeak dropping back. But you got...
Yeah, he's been dropping back here the past few laps. He's gonna get actually a little bit of pressure from Chris Schooler, who just got involved in an accident there a few laps ago. Don't exactly know what has happened. Looks like it doesn't look like he has any damage. He might have just burned up those right side tires and hasn't had the grip or speed he wants anymore in that car.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it, and we're taking a look here at Drew Ashley in a second. But look out front, that's Derek M. Garrison. He's opened up a gap once again, Squeak. We've seen this every week from Derek, just getting out front and pulling away.
Yeah, we see this happen a lot where these runs go on. Garrison seems to just be able to find that little bit of extra speed and pull away ever so slightly. Drew actually was closing there a bit. It was down to about 1.7 seconds, and then kind of fell off over the past of these 2 or 3 laps. But I do want to highlight someone who we do have some comments out there rooting for Dakota Camper. I do want to highlight him here for a second, if we can, Matt. He actually started in 9th position, and he's worked his way up to 4th and putting a little pressure on Eric Garrison here for 3rd place, and he's had a little bit of faster lap times these past few laps than some of the guys ahead of him. So I would not count out Dakota here as this run goes on.
Yeah, Dakota on some appreciation, throwback, Cobalt ski. That's a mouthful. But again, a lot of these guys running Jimmy Johnson style numbers, paint scheme, whatnot, due to this being the last weekend he'll be racing in NASCAR. And I said this, a good 6-7 years ago, Squeak, as somebody's been watching NASCAR basically my whole life, that, we're not going to realize what we're seeing Jimmy Johnson until he's gone, right? That guy has done so much for, as far as, you come in, you win that many races, that many championships. A lot of fans don't like it. You don't see that type of talent come often.
Yeah, you really do. And what he has accomplished on and off the track is very impressive. And like you said, some people don't or may not like how he was able to go out there and kick everyone's butts for so many years. But if you really look at it at a different standpoint, he's accomplished a lot more than a lot of people can say they have in the NASCAR Cup Series.
And I wanted to throw that in there. And I usually don't talk about real life, but definitely going to be one of them skills. But we'll get to see him go race IndyCar next year. That should be interesting.
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting to watch and see how he does in that series.
Now, as we take a look right now at Drew Ashley sitting in second behind Garrison, about 38 laps at the end of the year. Like run to open race. Get some fuel numbers here. I'm estimating 45 to cut car. And we see Ashley second right there. Eric Garrison sitting 3rd, and Camper you talked about. Garrison, Otis seems to be job of working way forward. Yes.
Yeah, he seemed to have been able to save them right sides a little bit better than some of these other guys. And as you said, it looks like within the past weeks, he's been able to do the same. He hasn't had the results that he's wanted each week, but if you do give him a run, he is one to not count out.
Can't count that 17 Colt up in front. Hey, you want great up at the yep. That's completely already tonight. Squeak burning through this one. Alexander Henry, Brandon Thomas, 5th and 6th. Then you're gonna have Chris School 7th, and Mr. Bill Fellow kind of dropped to 9th and kind of leveled off there at 9th position.
Yeah, I just want to point out here quick, we do have 5 sets of tires tonight. So as we get closer to this pit window, it'll be interesting to see if anyone tries to comes a little bit earlier to bunny hop over Derek Garrison in the lead. Obviously, he has a pretty decent sized lead over Drew Ashley at the time being. But we do have 5 sets of tires. So, if people gamble, they might get the right brakes at the right time or maybe a caution and send some of these guys to the back of the pack and give them the lead or a better position than what they were running in. So, it's going to be interesting to see some of these guys pit strategy in cycles.
Yeah, and the one thing about that race split, Joker talked about that at the very beginning of the broadcast. The great thing is you're not going to need 5 sets of tires. Right, at most you're going to need what, 2 additional, maybe at most, because we're already working upwards of lap 50 here. You put the tops at 50 and 100, and then you could make it all the way pretty much from there. Look at that squeaking. You say, okay, that's 2 additional. So you've got basically 3 sets extra to kind of play around with if you do get that call.
Yeah, like I said, if we do get a late race caution and you say some tires, or if maybe this does go green and everyone has a set of tires and everyone kind of be on the same strategy, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out here. But so far we've gone green and does not look like we're going to need too many extra sets.
We have some cars on pit road, Taylor, but on pit road shy of 45 laps on. Also, Adam Joshua Paul came in 4 laps. Majority of the race lead still out there in lap 45. I'm assuming they want to make it somewhere to the neighborhood 50 or 10. If they made it to 50, they could make it 2-stop race. 5, I'm not that you're going to make it a 2-stopper as we continue right now. Lap number 4. And again, 45 and 45 would be 90. So it would be if you can make it a 2-stop race there, but on a little further, Schooler to pit road, lap 45 at the end of 45, along with, Ashley, Dakota Camper, all those guys coming to pit road at the end of lap 45.
Yeah, we just had a whole bunch of people pit there, as you saw and pointed out, and immediately after that, Garrison took the hard left down pit road because these tires, if you take them at the wrong time, you're gonna drop like a rock and get cycled back. The newer tires have already shown how much speed they got. These guys who have stayed out have fallen about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds, depending on what lap times you're running. Than the guys with Thrasher tires. So, monkey see, monkey do.
And for buddy, and I did some math there at lap 45, so 45 and 45, that would put you at 135, right? All right, so that tells me that, pit at lap 90 and by 1 lap. And of course, or is it in a little bit better spot here, and that's currently still on the racetrack, and right now we're lap 48 on the lap down, but get a little bit better. The Schooler and the guys that just pitted should be able to make it to the. Now on the flip side of that, Aaron Court headed 8 laps ago. If we were going to need a caution, because he cannot make it over stop.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if a few of these guys pitted a few laps earlier, and they're gonna make it. But if you look back at it, Taylor Butcher Benjamin was the first one to basically call it down pit road, and everyone else followed him directly after that. So I would not be surprised if a few of these guys are possibly a little bit shorter, and possibly a few laps to the good. So it's gonna be something that we watch and see if these guys pit a little bit later here for the next stop.
Basically, get it as of right now. If the have this continue, Butcher Benjamin would roughly 2 laps short by my math. So, but again, we don't know how long into this stint. The magic number there, Squeak, for them to make it to lap 90. So if everybody makes it to lap 90, that stop would be their final stop. However, up short 88, 89 even, I don't think you can make it. 89 would be iffy having to save a little bit. Lap 90 is be our magic ball game number.
Yeah, and that's gonna be something to see here and watch how it plays out. Actually, Troy just came down pit road, so he's more than likely good to the end. It was kind of probably staying out a few extra laps to hope for possibly a caution that does not look like we'll be getting, considering everyone is pretty calm at the time being. Don't really have too many side-by-side battles, just guys working around slower cars at the moment.
They just put a wrench into our hands here. Because Troy actually ran 50 laps on that stand. Now keep in mind, the numbers I gave you was based off of 5. If it's possible for those guys to run 50, then that changes everybody's number, right? That's going to put it to where even the guys that stopped, a little bit sooner should be able to make it then if everybody can make it 50 laps on a tank of fuel. That's the interesting part. Now we got a number saying that it can go to 50. So we know now, okay, that changes your number a little bit, Squeak. Guys that pitted earlier.
Yeah, it definitely does, and I do think that these guys have looked at it and they've already made up their mind on what their plan is going to be throughout the race. They're Garrison actually going around Aaron for the first place at the time being, but I do think that a few of these guys tried to play a little bit of strategy to try and leapfrog their Garrison and maybe a few other positions. But if this thing is going to go green, then I think Garrison is by far the card you're going to have to play some strategy with, because he is not slowing down anytime sooner.
I think everybody's painting themselves in a box, right? Now, if you can go 50 on a tank, keep that in mind. So if we do math that we can go 50 on a tank here tonight, that's going to tell me where they can come in at. And you take a look at it, that puts it at lap 84 would be go home number, basically. If we're saying yes, you can make it 50 laps on a tank. So if you look at the numbers we already have, right, everybody can make it to 80. Easily, everybody can make it. So fuel-wise, everybody's all right. Now it's going to be a question of tires. And when do you make that final stop if we stay green?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough question, because obviously I think a few of these guys wear through their tires faster than they wear through the fuel, excuse me there. So these guys have fallen off quite a bit and are to the point where they're possibly hitting the wall and can't turn the car anymore. They might have to come down a few laps earlier to take them tires. But like I said, strategy is going to be a thing. I think if these guys play their cards correct, and possibly if they've painted themselves in kind of like their box right now to where they have to actually play strategy, then it's going to be something to watch.
You got Dakota Camper setting up there. Look at Dakota. We're back through, actually underneath Bob the Builder, Alexander right now. Dakota going third. Eric M. Garrison out front with a second lead right now. Nobody even close to him. I tell you what, Dakota Camper hanging in there in third right now, starting ninth.
Yeah, I believe Dakota has fresher tires than Aaron ahead of him, so I think he's going to be able to get up to second place here in a few laps. But like you said, Garrison has a 4-second lead, so I would be surprised if Dakota was able to close that gap down any further than what Garrison has already.
And like you said, look back at the way this race is, especially if we stay green the way we are right now. Everybody's kind of booked to where they're going to stop, right? To be honest with you, man, I don't see how these guys are going to get by Eric M. Garrison on this week, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't see a way that they're going to be able to catch up to Garrison and that big lead that he has currently without a caution or without possibly playing some strategy. But even then, I think Garrison has a big enough lead, and I think he's going to pull another few seconds here as this long run goes on if we do stay under green, to where if anyone does play strategy, I don't think it's actually going to work out for them.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Take a look at Aaron. Back to sixth. Be dropping back right at again. We're about 24 laps away from that pit number opening up. If we take a look for right now, we're 24 away from our pit number opening up, so we know that. So we can work our way forward there. Alexandra dropping back right now too.
Yeah, Alexander is getting a little bit of pressure from both Drew and Eric. They're going to go 3 wide here on the front stretch for split second again. These 3 are the 3 that we saw earlier. Actually, possibly, I think it was actually Bill that was in there as well with Alexander and Eric taking it 3 wide. But, 3 wide this early on, I guess you've got to kind of make up your mind this early and try and get as much position as you can so you don't have to fight later on. But a little bit surprised these guys are making it 3 wide this early still.
And me as well, but then again, I'm not. We ran 62 laps here. You guys are probably thinking we're probably not going to see a caution if the trend continues as a 9 of Eric Garrison jumps to 3rd here in front of Alexander. If you're not going to see a caution, you're racing for every spot right now. Because you know you're really not going to get a race.
Yeah, and you also got to be careful when doing that, because if you're racing hard on these, after you've just hit it and you're trying to gain as many positions as you can, if you do it, in the wrong way, you burn up them tires faster and you're not able to have something for the longer run. So you might see some of these guys be battling super hard right now than the guys who let them by, or, the guys that they've passed come back here in about 20 to 30 laps just because they've saved a little bit more tire than the guys who are pushing it right now.
Yeah, I tell you what, you look at the year that jump over Eric M. Garrison. If you look at the year that he's putting together, this would be number 7 if he off. And to be blunt and honest, I kind of think Bill is as strong as he is. 7 wins in a year, that is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. If he's able to get win number 7, especially this early on within the season, we still have at least 2/3 of the season to go. So that's going to be something to watch and to be. I'm kind of speechless as to how he's able to pull away. He's over 6 seconds at this point, and he's definitely setting the pace right now for the rest of the season.
I tell you what, I'd almost love to see his telemetry file to be, because the fact that he is just able to be consistently after has to be something better than that. It's kind of crazy to watch, actually.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to race against Garrison and work with Garrison. He's actually been my crew chief and spotter in an open league that I've done in recent weeks, and he's been a good mentor and teacher to teach me a little bit more about the best way to save them right side tires. Not that I was the worst at it, but he was able to help me just enough to where within the last maybe 5 to 10 laps of a run, I could gain a little bit more speed than some of my competitors, and he's definitely one that knows how to save them tires for the longer runs.
Well, as we got a battle here for a second, let's look quickly to compare. Eric M. Garrison right now, his I rating is a 38.23. Just to give you a reference of how good he is. Of course, Taylor Butcher Benjamin back there at 46. That's the 2 highest I ratings.
And I've actually, as I just said, I actually got to race with Derek, and I've also gotten to race with Taylor. And Taylor was last season's series champion in Xfinity cars. We have not seen quite the finishes or the speed in the Cup cars this season with him. I do know I haven't racing with the Cup cars with him. I don't know if it's maybe him or not. Maybe his driving style doesn't fit the Cup cars, but he has not exactly been what I think he. Well, I don't really know how to explain it, except for it's not what I expect out of Taylor when you hear his name. You hear Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and you think of he's fast, he's always up front, and he's consistent. But this season so far in these Cup cars, he has not been. I'd say maybe up there with Derek Garrison like he was last season.
Right, as we take a look right now, that's going to be Eric Garrison jumping to the second to move Eric Garrison up front. The brothers one right now. Oh, so quick. Here comes Camper back to the outside. Camper trying to use that top side here. Again, 24 laps into this run. Coda trying to use that outside to his advantage. Not going to work. Garrison will jump by here, move Garrison up to third. Or up to second. Dakota to third now. And you got Eric Garrison is going to be 7 seconds over brother Derek Garrison. And these two are just unreal. They're working their way down the front straightaway.
Yeah, I think if I was Dakota right now, I'd back it down just a little bit and not try and race Eric too hard, because last run we did see Dakota was faster as the run went on, and he was actually able to close the gap on quite a few of these guys, and that was including Eric Garrison before the pit stops. So if I was Dakota, I would, I'd kind of put that in the back of my head and realize that, hey, if this run goes green, I can actually close in on Eric Garrison as the run goes on.
Yeah, I tell you what, right now this race has been had a green flag of field for 72-34 here tonight. And folks, we're about, if this thing goes green, we're only about 32 minutes away from the end of the thing. So we're going to have a lot of answers here in about the next 30 minutes there, Squeak, on how this is going to play out.
Yeah, and even if we do get a caution, I don't see us getting a caution. I'll probably jinx it by saying that, but I don't know. I don't really see anyone around each other at the time being that could actually possibly cause a caution. It looks like for the most part, everyone's single file, kind of just running their own race and taking it easy for the time being.
Yeah, and that's not a bad plan, right? Just take it easy, don't be crazy, don't push the race car. That's exactly what everyone's doing. Taking it easy, that exact thing.
Yeah, and sometimes what you need to do during these longer green flag races, you kind of just need to realize that, hey, I'm not trying to race anyone right away after I've just gotten tires so I don't burn them up. Kind of the mentality that you've got to be patient and you've got to let the other guys burn up their tires so you can have some tire later on, and make your moves later on when it's needed on the longer runs.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you're doing. That's exactly what we're doing right now at lap 75 of 34. And you take a look, this is really the closest battle on the racetrack, but between Dakota Camper and Mr. Eric Garrison right there. That is your closest battle right now. Now Alexander's starting to close in on the back bumper. As I say that, Drew Ashley, Brandon Thomas is starting to get together here to have a bit of a party down the front straightaway. Once again, looking at Bob DeWilder's got on the back of Drew Ashley, starting to run down Drew just a little bit.
Yeah, Alexander got a good run on that front straightaway. He kind of lost the nose there in 1 and 2 and lost a bit of time by checking up. So that's going to allow Drew to pull away just a little bit. But Bob's going to have a good run here through 3 and 4. And actually, it looks like he's going to lose it a little bit off of the exit of 4 at the time being. But yeah, like you said, I mean, that's kind of like the only closest battle we've got on track at the time being. Actually, as I say that, Chris Schooler looks to the inside of Brandon Thomas for 6th position, and Chris Schooler is gonna clear that position. But besides that, we're going back to single file basically around here, and not too much racing going on for the time being.
I'm not. That number's 8 on the time by. You got Alexander Hampton, Chris Schooler, Brandon Thomas, Aaron Corey, Brill, Fellow Dakota, or Taylor, but and James Gunning, Stephen Woodard on this race. Right now at lap number 79 this time by. Keep in mind, we're coming up on the opening that everybody's looking for. And as I say that, Jason White to pit road, lap number 79, I still feel like that's a little bit early. Make it from here along Paul on pit road. That's a little too early in my opinion. I'd still wait till about lap 84 here before that pit road window would open. Take a look at 84 if he was going to get 50 laps of fuel here. Still 5 laps away officially from that number.
Yeah, I'd wait till at least, like you said, 85 or maybe or 84 to lap 90 possibly. Try and shorten up that last stint just a little bit, but some of these guys might try and play some strategy, um, try and leapfrog some of these other guys.
Yeah, we got cars on pit road, most of them at the back of the pack. How everybody that is, you would say, up front has stayed out. Josh actually is on 8-lap old tires, so he came in 8 laps ago. No way he can make it on. As right now up front, Eric Garrison right there in second, 6.9 seconds off his brother. We have Dakota Camper and Ashley closing in on him. Now these guys right here, this little battle, they could really benefit for jumping down sooner than each other to try to gain a position. Tires made to play for these guys a bit more.
Yeah, I think definitely with the lead Derek Garrison has, it's kind of just a battle between Eric, Dakota, Drew, Alexander, and Chris Schooler, and don't throw Brandon out that mix as well. But it's gonna kind of be a battle for second place if it keeps going green, because I don't see any way that these guys are gonna be able to catch Derek, who is about 7 seconds ahead of them.
Yeah, I don't see how they could do that. They're continuing to have a really good run here. I'm kind of surprised how good the racing has been here. Even though we've had long green flag runs, the race stayed pretty good throughout the field.
Yeah, and we've seen some great side by side and some 3 wide battles here. Like you said, it's kind of surprising for this to go green. Usually we would have seen a caution maybe about 10 or 15 laps ago, or maybe right off the bat, but I gotta hand it to these guys keeping it green for this long, and it's gonna be something to watch towards the end, see if maybe a few of these guys start pushing limits and possibly a caution later on within the last 30-ish laps.
That's definitely going to be something to see. But right now, man, guys continuing to really put on a good show here tonight, buddy.
Yeah, they are, and I'm excited to see if Garrison can pull off win number 7, or if maybe we get a caution that stacks the field up. And if we stack the field up, I'm sure that we're gonna see at least some more 3, maybe even 4 wide racing here.
Dakota Camper in trouble there. He got in the side of the 9. Oh, and they're going to make contact again as the 42 works his way through, man. That took my breath. I thought we was about to see our first caution. Dakota Camper, who has had such a good run here tonight, going to be involved in it, but he got it straightened out.
Yeah, that was close. There's obviously a bit of contact made between the 17 and the 9 there. And then the 42 and the 29 and I guess the 2 wasn't really for position, but they all took advantage of that contact between the 17 and the 9. Not exactly quite sure what happened there between the 17 and the 9, but it does look like the 17 is not going to hit pit road.
17 down pit road. That's the big Camper down pit road this time by that number 17. And for Dakota having to come down like that after that damage, but again, he'll be on that green flag stop cycle with Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and they will be good to go from here to the end. Let's see how much time Dakota Camper can gain.
Yeah, like you said, it's unfortunate for both of them getting involved in that, and that also kind of opened up Garrison's lead just a little bit more. But like you said, it's going to be interesting to see what Dakota's strategy is now at this point, as he's just leaving pit road. And yeah, I mean, surprised I was in caution, but they did do a great job of saving those 2 race cars and keeping it green.
That they did right now out front there again. Garrison continuing to lead. 8 machine. Mr. Drew Ashley is behind. Now Drew Ashley in third. Excuse me. Alexander's took over second just a moment ago. So how long does the race leader stay out here?
I don't know. Well. I just saw that Eric Garrison is actually going to be pitting here. I'm going to assume that Derek Garrison, as soon as the guys like second through maybe fourth, or Drew and Alexander and Chris and Brandon, as soon as those guys pit, I'm sure Derek Garrison is going to have to come down pit road because of the tire difference. But then again, he does have an 8-second lead, so I don't think he's too worried about when he comes down pit road.
Yeah, he just gives this away here. Coming up on lap number 90 at 1:30. He's put together a great race, so he'll cross the stripe for lap number 90. Continue on right now.
Yeah, he's continuing to put consistent lap times down and pulling away from the field. I think it was Bill just came off of pit road. And currently we got 7 cars on the lead lap. Obviously, a few of these guys have pitted and have gone a lap down. Actually, here comes our leader, Derek M. Garrison, pitting now. Don't see anyone else really pitting that's on the lead lap. Eric Garrison coming off pit road. Actually, Drew is coming on pit road currently. Got a few takers, a few of these guys staying out.
Yeah, down pit road right now. Derek's going to get his stall here. And he perfectly into his box, man. No problem there on entry. No, didn't have to back up. Didn't have to do anything like that. So perfect stop. What maybe his final stop of the night here for Derek M. Garrison right now. He'll drop off the stall and go. Nice stop for him. While up front right now, Chris School staying out a bit further, along with Brandon Thomas. These two cars staying out for a bit longer here at lap number 92.
Yeah, it's going to cycle these two up front, and unfortunately, it looks like Aaron is going to end his night. He just disconnected from the server, and that's going to ruin his night. We saw him up front early on, and he got in, just lost that track position, and looks like he's going to call it night for himself and his team. So unfortunate to see that, but up front currently we got Chris Schooler and Brandon Thomas. Then we got Alexander Hendrick just coming off of pit road, and that's going to cycle Derek Garrison, I believe. No, Derek Garrison's still a lap down. But these two staying out currently, so that's kind of surprising.
Yeah, I think they're just praying for a caution at this point. Actually, here comes Schooler to pit road now. Schooler to pit road here at lap 90. Giving up the ghost here and bringing her down pit road. Gotta leave Brandon Thomas, really your last car on this strategy of staying. Right here it is. Wait on Brandon Thomas to come down pit road, and then I'll hand the lead back off to Derek M. Garrison. Has just been on a tear all night long, but he did lose a lot of his lead to Dakota Camper. Only up over Dakota Camper by 2.8 seconds right now.
Yeah, Brandon Thomas actually calling it to pit road this time by, so that's going to relinquish the lead back to Derek M. Garrison. Like you said, Dakota Camper closed in, but do remember that he has a little bit of older tires than Derek Garrison after he made contact with the 9 and had to come down pit road a little bit sooner than he would have liked. But, I think... Still don't think that's going to play into anyone else's hands except Derek M. Garrison. Derek M. Garrison, like you said, he's still on fire, and I think this is basically his race to lose at this point.
Yeah, it's like deja vu all over again. Derek M. Garrison up front, well on his way to win number 7.
Brandon Thomas currently coming off of pit road as well, not to mention see where he cycles out here.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it as all cycles through here. At lap 96, we joked when we opened the night about it going green. I don't think we actually thought it would. But here, at this point of the race, that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, we definitely were joking about this going green, and I guess it is actually going to go green if these guys keep it up at this pace. Kind of surprising still, not going to lie. But like you said, I don't think either of us expected this thing to go green for this long, and can't can't say too much because this goes out to every one of those guys currently on track for keeping it green and making them great saves and just, running it clean and green.
Yeah, doing a wonderful job, clean and green here tonight. Well, folks, we're going to go to our second Crank It Up of the night, and we'll be right back here from Kentucky Motor Speedway in the NASCAR Butt Kicker Cup Series here tonight in just a moment. Alrighty, folks, back here with you as we continue to run here at Kentucky Motor Speedway here in the NASCAR Butt Kicker Cup Series. Matt and Squeak in the booth with you here tonight. Rolling our way towards the end of this thing, Squeak. And honestly, everybody pretty spread out right now.
Yeah, everyone has about maybe a second or 2 seconds in between them. You got a few gaps of 3 seconds in between some people, but for the time being, it's kind of just been a quiet race at this point. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to cover. I think the closest battle we got right now is between Drew Ashley, who's a bit of pressure on Alexander Hendry. But still, your leader out front is Derek M. Garrison with about 7 seconds over Dakota Camper, and then followed by Eric Garrison in third place.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? As you continue here, everybody working their way through and doing a great job at keeping this all clean and good.
Yeah, I do want to point out quick, Brandon Thomas, who had stayed out a few extra laps, as well as Chris Schooler. They're currently both 4th and 7th right now. That's about where they are running before the pit stop cycle. Obviously, they have a little bit more fresher tires than some of the guys in front of them, but I don't know if it really kind of paid out for either one of them. I think the better end was off of Chris Schooler rather than Brandon Thomas. Chris Schooler, it kind of has a little bit of a smaller gap in between him and Eric Garrison for third place, where Brandon Thomas is about 4-ish, 3.5 seconds behind Drew Ashley, who is his position that he's kind of racing for.
Yeah, you see him spread out right there. There you see it. And, man, you brought it up, all the strategies that these guys did all night long. It came down to just this right here, and, everybody's spread apart. Not much they can do about it right now.
Yeah, at this point, I've kind of closing in with about, actually, we have a little bit less than 30 laps to go with kind of I think if I was some of these guys in maybe second or third, maybe even fourth place, like Chris Schooler, it's kind of like a, all right, well, I can't really catch anyone at this point. I might as well just try and conserve a little bit so I don't hit the wall or burn up my tires and lose position on, a good finish or something. So it's gonna be, something to watch here and see if any of these guys try and push it a little bit harder, and maybe burn up their tires and hit the wall and then cost themselves a good finish.
Yeah, and that's about the only thing that you got to look as take a look at Derek M. Garrison's gap back up to 8.6 seconds, well on his way to win 7 here tonight.
Yeah, he's currently just kind of set sail for win number 7. As long as we don't see a caution, there's no way anyone can catch him at this point. Derek M. Garrison has taken these guys to school tonight at his home track of Kentucky Motor Speedway, or yeah, Kentucky Motor Speedway, Kentucky Speedway, whatever it's called. I don't know the official name. But actually, as I say that, it looks like Chris Schooler is kind of closing in on the other Garrison, his brother Eric Garrison, for third place.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Chris Schooler gonna actually get a good run here going down the front stretch and into turn 1. He's gonna look low on Eric Garrison. I'm not quite sure if Eric Garrison's no, he's actually gonna put up a little bit of battle, but Chris Schooler is gonna have the better hand here going to turns 3 and 4, and now move Chris Schooler up to third place.
Yeah, Schooler's well on his way to a win here tonight. Chris Schooler there, or excuse me, Garrison well on his way to a win, and Chris Schooler well on his way up to third. Great battle here within the top 3, but tell you what, you look at this race and the way everything is panned out. What if we do get that next caution? What if we do get a yellow? Talked about the tires that you guys had to play with, right? Said if it went green, you basically got 3 extra sets of tires to play monkey see, monkey do with. As you see the 6 on fresher tires, but 2 laps down, making quick work of the 9 there. What do you think? You think everybody will come down if we get a caution?
I think it depends on when the caution falls. If we do see a caution, I think if we do get it within the last 5 laps, you might see. Well, I think everyone actually would have to come down because I think tires at that point would just be toast. But you might actually see guys take maybe 2 tires, try and play some strategy. But I think the majority of the guys would take 4 tires and then try and push it a little bit harder on the restart.
Yeah,
but say if it did fall right about now, I think absolutely everyone would have to take 4 tires.
And we take a look at all of them. Eric M. Garrison still out front. Cody Camper's sitting in second. But he's kind of, I don't want to say slid into the spot, more or less. They're sliding into where they were going to run here. 13 laps, so 130 aboard. And that's really the only thing that can really mix this up is if we do get a yellow here late in the going.
Yeah, definitely a yellow would shake things up currently. I will say the one battle that I don't think we can count out yet is the battle for second place, because if you do remember, Dakota actually had to pit early, and Chris Schooler kind of stayed out a little bit longer, so he has a little bit fresher tires than Dakota there in second place. He's actually closed in the gap there that lap to be under a second, and that's going to be something to watch here in the few laps. Obviously, we do know Dakota is really good at saving them tires for the longer runs, but I think the difference is too much to say that Dakota is able to hold off Chris Schooler.
I think so too. I think the difference is too much is in you right now. And what a battle we've had with E laps to go here. As you've got Derek M. Garrison, play with Cody Camper sitting in second, sitting in third. Everybody just trying to hang out right now. What's going to be 19 laps to get time by?
Yeah, we currently have 10 cars on the lead lap. Last car being Taylor Butcher Benjamin, who is kind of in danger of going a lap down here soon. And then next person would be Jamie Lee Dunning, and then Bill Stringfellow and Brandon Thomas and Drew Ashley. By But I think everyone from 5th place up has pretty good shot at finishing on the lead lap as long as they keep their race pace up at a decent way and continue to put down good laps times and not hit the wall or hit anything else.
Yeah, let's take a look at Roz with his turnout. His night very strong earlier, and he fell off, and now he's kind of mired back in the 8th, not able right now.
Yeah, we saw him battling Garrison there for the lead early on within the first 20-25 laps ish, and then like you said, we kind of haven't seen him since then. He's kind of fallen back here towards the end of the top 10, and he hasn't made up a whole lot of ground on anyone. So I'm sure it's going to be kind of a disappointing night for him. But like I said, we usually see him up there each week within the top 5, and I think we'll see him again next week, be up towards the top 5.
Alrighty, right now as we can go to the camera up there on Chris Dakota Camper. Nice little battle, folks. I'm gonna step out of the booth right quick. Squeak, I'll be right quick as possible here, buddy. And your camera's gonna be on Dakota Camper as he tries to run down Chris Dakota on Extreme Sim TV. Right back.
Yep. All right, folks. Here we go. Coming to the last, closing in about 15 laps here tonight. Like Matt just said, this camera's currently focused on Dakota, so I'll try and keep you guys up to date on anything that's happening around the track. But currently, your current lineup is Derek M. Garrison, followed by Chris Schooler, then Dakota Camper in 3rd place, followed by Eric Garrison in 4th place. Then Alexander Henry closing out the top 5. In 6th place, we have Drew Ashley in the 42 car. Then Brandon Thomas in the 7 car. Bill Stringfellow in the 8th position, followed by Jimmy Lee Dunning in 9th position. And then rounding out the top 10 is Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Going to 11th, Steve Woodard, 1 lap down currently. Then we got Justin White in 12th place, as well as 1 lap down. And then we got Joshua in 13th position, 2 laps down, and Robert D 14th, 2 laps down. And then we got Aaron Corey, who's currently out of the race, 34 laps down, and Troy Rittner, 40 laps down to 16th, followed by Paul in 17th, John in 18th, and Joey in 19th. Going back up here to 4th place, I believe. Eric Garrison has kind of fallen off of Chris Schooler. We saw them a few laps ago. Eric Garrison was kind of right behind Chris Schooler. Obviously, Chris Schooler had the fresher tires. Was able to complete the pass around him, but he's kind of fallen back just a little bit of ways. Closest battle we kind of still have is the battle for 5th position between Alexander Hendry, Drew Ashley, and Brandon Thomas. They're all within about a second of each other. Alexander Hendry leading that pack of 3 going into turns 3 and 4. Drew is kind of putting on some pressure, but he's also getting pressure from behind from Brandon Thomas. Brandon Thomas has a little bit newer tires than the 2 ahead of him. He hasn't really been able to use them tires as much like Chris Schooler, who's currently in 2nd. Like I said before, Brandon Thomas and Chris Schooler stayed out a little bit longer. Schooler kind of got the better end of picking up those positions back. Currently, actually, Drew Ashley is going to look to the inside of Alexander Hendry going into turns 3 and 4. He's not going to be able to make that pass, and he's going to get a little bit tight, and that's going to allow Brandon Thomas to get the outside. Brandon Thomas kind of got a little bit of a wall off of turn 4. He's not going to be able to make that outside stick, so give those 3 a little bit of space and battle as they continue for 5th place. But
yeah, great battle right here, Squeak. Good job covering that for us back here with you folks. And Squeak, I tell you what, this turned into quite a little battle here.
Yeah, it definitely has, and I did not think that we'd see any battles happening, but as I've just been speaking about it, Brandon Thomas has been looking down below Drew Ashley for 5th or 6th place, and while that's been happening, Drew has been kind of battling Alexander for 5th place. So put these 3 under a blanket battling for a top 5, and that could change a whole lot of things here.
A great battle here. Let's laps to go at Kentucky Speedway. The contact there between the 42 and the 29 getting a little rough up there. This battle inside the top 10, right?
Yeah, the 42 just gave the 29 a little bit of a bump going into turns 3 and 4. I'm not quite sure if that had to do with the two of the slower car with the two being on the high side and Drew not wanting to stick it in 3 wide with the slower car, but he definitely did give a shot to Alexander Hendry there going to turns 3 and 4, and he has not backed off of Alexander Hendry's bumper. And I expect Alexander to play kind of like a blocking game here as he's going for a top 5. But at the same time, I do think Drew is a little bit faster, and Alexander Hendry just needs to keep it together for the last 10 laps here.
I agree. Battle with the 7 to go time by. You take a look. Sandra, Drew, Ashley, right there together right now. With the 7 to go time by squeak.
Yeah, Chris Schooler, not that it really matters, but Chris Schooler has closed in the gap on Derek Garrison. Like I have mentioned, Chris Schooler did take newer tires a little bit later on, but it's like we said, it's not really going to matter because Derek M. Garrison has built up such a lead that without a caution, no one's really going to be able to do anything for a win here.
Yeah, it's not going to really help him wise, but definitely confident. You know, you're starting to figure it out. Maybe guys can handle Derek M. Garrison. But it's not going to be tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, we are closing in on these laps. See, Alexander Hendry just got the wall off of 4. That's going to allow Drew Ashley to go to the outside of here on the straightaway. Or actually, Drew and Brandon Thomas go to the inside and outside. 3 wide there for a second. That's going to move Alexander Hendry back to 7th position. And like I just said, you can't be making these mistakes late on in the run. You got to keep these positions because I'm sure that just made Alexander Hendry frustrated in the car after he hit that wall for 4 last time by.
Yeah, you know, this, you cannot, like, you can't be making these late in the race like that. You know, this late in a race, you really make it up with 5 to go. It's a mistake that's going to cost you at least not 2 spots.
Yeah, no, not only that, but that's going to cost him a shot at the top 5 probably, and 2 positions is, you know, that's some points that you've just lost and that you had about 2.5 laps ago, but now you've lost it completely. So that's going to be an unfortunate night for him. But I do not count out the battle for 5th place quite yet. Drew Ashley has not quite pulled towards Brandon Thomas, but he hasn't fallen back of Brandon Thomas. So closing these laps in pretty quick. So he was going to have to make up some sort of time here if he wants the top 5.
Yeah, right now, right there, that Toyota, right there behind Brandon Thomas. 3 laps to go here at Kentucky, man. Tell you what, it's been a fun night in the NASCAR ButtKicker Cup Series here.
Yeah, it's been fun. We've seen a lot of action, a lot of green flag racing, lots of 2 and 3 wide battles, a little bit of contact earlier on as well between a few guys. They saved it, and we've kind of kept it green and just kind of has, you know, a chill night in this race so far. But Derek M. Garrison has definitely put on a dominating performance tonight.
Yes, he has definitely done all. Is Derek M. Garrison goes down to a white flag this time by in number 7, pretty much looking imminent now. He'll get to the back bumper of Taylor Butcher. And to the back bumper of the Butcher he'll go. There's a white flag, a wave. Derek M. Garrison and Chris Schooler here by 9 seconds. He pretty much coasted here last lap, Squeak.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's gonna race Taylor Butcher Benjamin too hard. Taylor's the last one on the lead lap. I don't think Garrison would really have anything to gain or lose if he passed him. So I think he's just gonna kind of coast it, like you said, around these last few turns. But again, dominating performance from Derek M. Garrison as he comes out of turn number 4, and he's gonna see the checkered flag here tonight at Kentucky.
In number 7, Derek M. Garrison in the NASCAR ButtKicker Cup. What more can you say? 7 wins, Man, what a dominant year.
7 wins early on. That is definitely a dominating performance so far, and that's a statement to one of these other guys that shows that Derek M. Garrison is not here to play around. He is here to win races, and I'm sure a few of these guys wouldn't mind if Derek M. Garrison possibly, made a mistake every once in a while. But Derek M. Garrison, win number 7 of the season, definitely showing a statement.
Harrison as he wrap it up tonight and get a word fairly getting 7. Oh,
Let's go through the top 3 here. I'm gonna drag Dakota up here if you don't mind, so we can review him.
grab Mr. Dakota.
Hey Dakota, this is Oscar Jensen in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, you know what? It wasn't exactly the night you probably wanted. You let Derek, well, I guess Derek M. Garrison kind of took everyone to school tonight, but you still were able to pull it off with the 3rd place finish after a little bit of contact between you and the 9. What more did you need tonight, and how was your night overall?
I thought the night was good. I mean, for a caution-free race to not have any trouble other than that one little incident, but that caused me to go ahead and pit early. So we jumped about 4.5, 5 seconds up, and we were able to hold it as best we could. I just had about 3 laps older tires than Chris and couldn't hold him off, but I'll take 3rd.
Yeah, we definitely did notice that Chris Schooler had a little bit more fresher rubber on that race car, and we weren't sure if you're able to if you were going to be able to hold him off. We did see you earlier on have the little bit longer run speed, but like you said, he did have quite a bit more laps, or you did have quite a bit more laps than him on those tires. So I wouldn't be too down about a 3rd place finish.
Oh no!
You got anyone you want to thank? I guess.
Yeah,
I want to thank ButtKicker for sponsoring our league, and all the admins. They do a great job keeping it fair. Even when controversy comes around, they do a great job keeping it fair. And just my teammates, Bill and Jamie, they always help me out. And yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you go celebrate that 3rd place finish as well as a victorious night overall for you, it sounds like. So have a good one, and we'll see you next week.
All righty. Appreciate it, man. Y'all have a good one.
Yep. You too.
Buddy, man, definitely a great conversation there with the 3rd place driver, the camper. Having a pretty good year overall, Squeak. Right now, we'll go ahead and we'll do this. What a night it's been, man. A fun night. Get Mr. Yes, they had a copy on me. It's Matt. Hey, Chris, buddy, you got a copy on us? It's Matt in the book.
Oh, jeez.
Chris, buddy, it's Matt in the book. Copy.
Chris, you got us?
What's going on, Matt?
Oh, not much, buddy. It's a pretty good night for you coming second. Couldn't run down Mr. Garrison, but good job coming up second here.
Yeah, man, he was just too far out ahead. I tried everything I could do, man. My headset was getting hot there at the end. I was wheeling that car, man, but couldn't catch him.
I mean, you tried everything you could do, man. You sound exhausted, buddy.
I said the Oculus got my face hot, man.
Buddy, well, good year for you. Second year. Are you learning at least? Do you think you can eventually figure out the trick to get up there and get it away from your...
I just gotta hit the luck just right, man. That's all it takes.
10-4, buddy. You've had an awesome year. What's your plan going next week?
Bog deep and let her eat. That's my plan.
Got anybody you'd like to thank before I let you go?
I'd like to thank ButtKicker for coming on for the sponsor for this year. I'd like to thank Squeak up in the booth. And yeah, that's about it.
And buddy, Congratulations tonight, and we'll see you moving next week.
Appreciate it, Matt.
Okay. Well, it's time, Squeak. We got to get our man, the myth, the legend, Mr.
Mr.
Garrison.
7-time winner of the season up here.
Hey, Mr. 7-time, you got a copy on Matt and Squeak.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
7 wins in 1 year, buddy. What a year.
Oh yeah, man, it feels good. Every win feels good. Feels the same as the first.
I know the feeling, man. Adding them on, adding that points lead. Man, I tell you what, I think you get to 10 or more, to be honest.
Yeah, we're more worried about the final 10 races, really, but yeah, looking for the regular championship too.
And is there anything you're learning going forward helping you with those final 10?
Yeah, I mean, some of the races that's in the chase is in the regular season, so yeah, we learned a lot.
And for buddy with 7 wins, that's nothing to off at. Putting together a great season, impressive season, man. To be honest with you, I'm kind of in shock, my man.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I just want to add on quick. This is, I believe, your home track, right, Garrison?
Yeah, Kentucky boy here.
Yeah, was there any more like confident booster, any, more pressure that you thought you would need tonight to, go out and win at your home track? Or was it just another week of, hey, I can go win this thing and just do exactly what I've been doing the past 6 win races?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a little added pressure when you go to your home state and race at your home track. A second place would probably just be like a last place finish, to be honest with you. So yeah, we was geared up, ready to go tonight.
Well, you definitely were geared up, and you definitely did have a dominating performance tonight. With that, I can't, I don't really know what else to say except I'm just amazed at how big of a lead you had at times and how dominated you basically just pulled away and did your own thing throughout the night. With that, is there anyone else, or is there anyone you'd like to shout out or thank?
Yeah, we gotta give a big shout out to GGR Racing Garages. So they built an awesome race car for us, and gotta thank ButtKicker and UiL people that are putting on a show every week, and the broadcasts, you and Matt there.
All right. Well, we'll let you go celebrate your 7th victory of the season. Unless Matt, do you have anything else?
No, buddy, I'm good, man. And congratulations on the win here.
Thank you, man. Thank y'all.
Yep. Have a good one.
Alrighty, Squeak, buddy. Well, it's been a fun night. We'll get to do it all over again next week. Thank you, as always, for coming up and helping me out tonight, bud.
As I always, it's always my pleasure to be up here with you, Matt. It's always a fun time. We always have good races, and we always are able to call out the races with 100%, as we would any other week. So,
And for buddy.
we'll be back next week.
And for I gotta go get some rest. I gotta go race for $500 tomorrow.
All right, buddy. You have a good one.
And for wish me luck on saving tires tomorrow.
Yeah, good luck with that, and go get you some money.
And for buddy, appreciate it. Everybody, we'll be back at you tomorrow. And the Fantasy Circus series up at 5 Eastern. And we'll have, but what else we got tomorrow? Oh yeah, we got Luke's Lug Nuts Cup Series. Cruzy SK.com Cup Series up tomorrow night at 8, and then I go racing at 10:30 tomorrow night in the Mid-South Madness Racing League. Check that out from the Speed Racing Network. I need all the routes that I can get going into the Final 5 tomorrow night. It's going to be a heck of an evening for me. I'm going to be tired by the end of tomorrow. But until next time, it's been Matt and Squeak in the booth. Everyone have a great night. Stay safe. God